Here's what's been going on. Yesterday, you know who's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. He testified before a Senate Appropriations Committee, and he had to walk back these claims he made last October about his contact with Jeffrey Epstein. Let's take a look.
My wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Really? So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Did you, in fact, make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies.
You made a very big point of saying that you sensed that this was a bad person in 2005. And then, of course, in 2008, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution of a minor. And yet you went and had this trip and other interactions.
I did not have anything you could call a relationship, anything you could call an acquaintance. I literally met him 3 times over 14 years with widespread in between. That's all I can remember. That's all there is in the documents. I didn't look through the documents with any fear whatsoever because I know and my wife knows that I have done absolutely nothing wrong in any possible regard.
So I think he thought that those emails were never, ever going to see the light of day and that people were not going to be reading them with a fine-tooth comb.
That's right.
And so he felt very comfortable saying, I don't know, he's nasty.
But you know, the thing that gets me, why would you take your kids to Epstein Island?
Yes.
Why not? Does the word Disneyland ring a bell? How about Legoland? There are many places to take children, and that's not one of them.
And the nannies.
Yeah, but
and the nanny.
That 2008, he was a registered sex offender. Right. You're going to visit Pedo Island with your kids ranging from 7 to 16.
Exactly.
That is the last thing. That lack of judgment there alone, honestly, is worse than the lying and repeating it over and over. The audacity of so many people in this file to continually double down. He was asked a question in a podcast. He continued for 5 minutes spelling out all the ways he didn't know. Doth protest whatever. Thank you. That part.
The secretary doth protest too much.
And the thing that people are getting wrong is there's a difference between a legal and an ethical problem here. So many people, including myself, I don't think we're uncovering this massive hundreds deep pedophile ring. I am more disgusted by the people that covered for it. The people that would take the money for anything and turn their eyes as people continue to be abused. Because just to give you an idea of a timeline, in 2012, when they went to Pedo Island for lunch on vacation, his nannies were there. In 2013, Epstein's lawyer had his nanny's resume. Who are you passing off on who? Like, Lutnick's nanny, who had visited the island, all of a sudden, somehow, Epstein, who has no kids, has the nanny's resume. What are you passing
I believe
her off?
Epstein may have asked for her resume.
Yes, and so at this point, like, Howard Lutnick, you're gross.
Yeah, and
you're gross.
I remember when that podcast came out, I talked about it on the show.
You did.
Commending Howard Lutnick and saying if Howard Lutnick was able to see in one instance that that Epstein was gross, what was wrong with all of them? And now it turns out he was bald-faced lying and under oath. And do you remember?
There was a good banana in the bunch.
Do you remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene said? She said that when Trump called her to tell her not to vote for the release of these files, he said to her, a lot of my friends are going to get hurt. And we are now seeing that pan out. And also, it came out this week that Trump had called the police chief in Palm Beach in 2006 and said everybody knew what he was doing. So how do you reconcile So does that mean Trump knew, who was his best friend for years?
Yeah.
Does
Well,
that
Trump
mean
said in 2002, remember,
Trump-
he likes him on the younger side.
Yeah.
That was 2002.
Does that
was
mean
knowledge.
Howard Lutnick knew?
Yeah.
Who was his next door
He
neighbor?
just brought his kids
for
there.
years?
I think
It's
that's
not-
the
yeah.
implication. And what I will say is this is the Commerce Secretary. This is the person that is
Right.
the chief advisor on the economy to this president. Job growth. We're talking about trade. The fact that he could lie so audaciously means to me that he is not fit for his position. He must resign. We should collectively be calling for his resignation. He is unfit. As much of the cabinet is unfit, but he is especially unfit. And the thing is, there have been other people caught up in this. There was a gentleman, his name is, I think, Brad Karp, from a significant law firm, Paul Weiss and Rifkin. He was the chairman of the firm. He had ties to Epstein. He resigned. I'm sure he was forced to resign, but resignation is the right thing. And if he doesn't resign, this guy Lutnick, then I think the president is really good at firing people. Remember, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired.
Not
He
now.
needs to fire him.
That
Joy,
was
you
a
want-
TV show.
What-
I was just thinking, like, is there anything worse than being a pedophile?
No.
There's nothing worse.
No.
If you are accused of raping a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, whatever,
It's the worst
there
of
is
the worst.
nothing worse than that. In fact, I believe in the death penalty for some of these people.
Well, and since the pedophile is dead, covering up for that pedophile,
the whole thing,
even after his
there's
death.
nothing worse than that.
'Cause you're
And
killing a
so
childhood.
Of course they're going to cover for each other.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to lie.
Well-
because once that gets out, they are finished.
Well,
So
don't you
just
say when
accept
you-
that they are liars.
When you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas.
That's right.
Well, the fleas are coming home to roost.
Yep.